tonight. Got Kentucky and Yankee back in the house, and we're going to do a little podcast tonight for the 2020 year in review. And I thought it would be good to start it out with a little bit of hate mail that I got from.
We always love fan mail.
Yeah, or fan mail. Yeah, fan mail that I got between our last podcast together and tonight's. Which kind of prompted me reaching out to you guys to do another one because obviously we got some attention. So,
well, I mean, we do catch a lot of attention. So what can we say? We're two handsome gentlemen here.
Very
yeah.
pretty.
There you go.
Burly men, some have called us.
Hard to keep your eyes off y'all with those masks on, man.
It's some baby blues I got.
Beauty shy. But I figured I'd start the podcast out, the show out tonight, reading this fan mail. So, yeah, I'll just go ahead. It starts out with, hey there, Jim. Okay, you've got all the guns, big fella. You got the big ones, the small ones, the hard-to-find ones, all the calibers. You've got all the sights, the LPVOs, the accessories to make you a badass. A big, tough guy with all his toys. However, you lack discipline, compassion, mercy, kindness, patience, and sound decision-making. You pick up your gun and you yell 1776, but you truly aren't studied up on freedom. You lack the perspective of others, understanding and caution when attacking your fellow American. You allow the various media outlets to fill your mind with frustration, your heart with anger, and your soul with rage. You speak and act too often from a place of ignorance. Many times you can tell me what a red coat is, but not a status, and I wonder why. You pick up your gun and you say, I wish a motherfucker would. You do that because you don't truly understand chaos and battle, confrontation and prison. You sit and have fantasies about using your guns because you can't wait for the opportunity just to show how tough you are. Half the time, you have these visions of violence against people who look just like you, the kind of attitude that would have you forgive the master and attack your fellow slave, the type who wants war because you have decided chaos is the thing that causes change. However, you lack the discipline and foresight to make change using other avenues. You barely train. You barely read anything other than a blog or listen to others with opposing views. You don't think critically and you rely heavily on confirmation bias, woeful ignorance, and your favorite media outlet or influencer to tell you how to feel. However, you also remind everyone how the media is the devil, not realizing you're in the devil's trance. You want a nasty war in this country, but you don't understand logistics. You don't understand how to grow and harvest food. You don't understand basic engineering. Many of those asking for war recently were complaining about the lack of tissue. You got all the guns, big fella, but you're lacking true substance that will help you understand the deeper meaning of what owning a gun means. Signed, truly, Antifa.
I mean, very well. I definitely took the time. Very well spoken. You didn't just kind of call us a Nazi, so thank you for that, for taking the time to kind of really lay in there and post your grievances.
Exactly.
Right? Very well thought out.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I do want to interject. With most communist revolutions, don't they start with violence? I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. But aside from that, we're clearly people who don't understand history or freedom or how to use a firearm or anything like that. Yeah, if that person, that letter was directed to just about anyone else, in this kind of liberty movement, on all the memes about 90%, maybe you've had a point there. But everyone I know has like 4 or 5 other skills besides just pulling triggers. Exactly. You included. So.
Yeah, man.
And fuck you, you dirty fucking commie.
Yeah, that goes without saying. But just to reiterate, you're willingly choosing to be property of the state rather than an individual. So enjoy that.
Yeah, go for it. Good for you. I'll see you
right.
there. What's up, Nick Marlowe's over in the chat? How you doing this night, brother?
Evening, Nick. What's good?
So, guys, now that we got that out of the way, for this year in review, where do we want to start off? I don't know that I can even remember back to January of last year.
We should start off where it began. I think the most exciting thing was Lobby Day and the build-up to it.
Well, remember first, we were like, all right, it's going to be World War III. We killed a fucking Iranian general.
Yeah, it was World War III.
We're like, all right, here we go.
It's war with Iran. Oh, we're going to do it again. We got the slick boats, and then it was just a tease again,
Yeah.
And then it was, it's going to be the revolution. We're going to start shooting at people.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, thankfully. It ended up being one big block party. as much as I can remember. That was a fun night. That was a fun day.
Day to that, because you'll have to remind me. I have short-term or long-term.
I think it was the 20th.
Yeah.
I think it was January 20th. Yeah. And we also heard whispers of the virus leading up to that. We all joked about it the night before.
So I think it was probably a night like tonight that me and Mark were sitting in his parents' basement, packing up a large box of stuff to send you guys to take up there.
Yes, actually.
Which thank you for the T-shirts, by the way. They're still very nice.
Leslie, I still have that hat.
Yep. Because we were stoked about it, man. We were excited. One of you guys had just signed off on doing some marketing for our company, and TBL was at its peak.
It was definitely rising quick.
Yeah, it was rising quick. I think about that time we had probably 10,000 followers, and then after that rally, everything just went up from there.
I remember buying a shirt from you all before you were even TBL. So
after that we made some pretty outrageous statements, and ended up retracting that and lost some clout.
That's when the media got a hold of us, and oh boy, we could not get away from the camera.
Yeah, us
very handsome men, big burly, all that.
Yeah, us and the Patriot Wave guys got a lot of attention while we were out there.
Quite a bit. Interviewed by Vice and Washington Post and all the big names.
Well, tell everybody a little bit about what happened up there in Virginia. Some of the guys that are watching are maybe newer to who we are and weren't around back then. I know there's a lot of new guys in the Liberty movement, so kind of let them in on what was going on up there, why y'all were there, and how it went while you were there.
Well, Lobby Day is a yearly thing that Virginia has, and I think it was pretty much overtaken last year by the Virginia Civilian
Defense League.
Yeah, Virginia Civilian Defense League.
Yeah.
Who asked us to, for outside help to come out and force and protest because the state was looking at enacting some laws quite like, New York or California, things that made a lot of people unhappy. So we were out there to, protest for, their Second Amendment rights. We were asked by a friend of ours who are Virginian to come down and, assist with that, make some memes, do some live streams, and hopefully not get shot at or start shooting at cops. That was the last thing.
Yeah.
Leading up to it, it's like, they're bringing out like riot control bulldozers, and the state police is out there with sniper teams and all this kind of nonsense.
Yeah. There was a brief moment, like it's been overshadowed now, like that everything went amazingly and beautifully.
Terrifying.
There was a good 48 hours that everyone in the hardcore 2A community was certain, this is about to be
I remember
mess.
Probably the most poignant thing that set the tones in the first 15 minutes. We had probably about a dozen guys in full kit 2 miles out from like the governor's mansion, and we had a cop car roll up on us. We're like, okay, is this going to be it? What's going on here? Cop rolled down his window, was like, hi guys, how are you? Thanks for coming out today. If you want to go this way, it's a shorter cut. Getting there. Thanks for being out here. Be safe. Have a good day. And drove off.
He gave us directions.
Yeah. That set the tone.
Well, let me ask. I'll cut in and ask you all this since you're on that subject. Some of the rhetoric that the Liberty movement was having at that time before the Virginia rally was definitely anti-police, anti-government, anti-politician. Actually, TBL sent out some hats that said "Make politicians scared again." I think another group carried a guillotine up there, but. On the law enforcement side, after that first encounter when y'all got there, and throughout your encounters with the police, I know the police were offering people pieces of the guillotine. They weren't destroying it; they were offering.
No, they weren't. I mean, we saw the guillotine when it was there.
Did that rally and having that interaction with law enforcement up there kind of change your mind on some of the rhetoric that was going on with police at that time during the movement?
I mean,
it also, but there was the whole thing with the sheriff's departments in Virginia that were like openly saying they weren't going to enforce these things. So
actually, we had uniformed sheriffs out there marching with us, protesting. With us.
That's really what said it. It kind of set the whole thing, and plus, like everyone was cool as hell to us. Like the only person we saw that got arrested was some Antifa chick,
who was ironically wearing a mask.
Yeah, she was wearing a mask. And at this point, it was illegal to wear a mask at an event.
Yeah. So
that's how long ago
yeah.
this was.
So that's going back almost years in internet time.
So she was in the same place where you can now be arrested or at least fucked with for not wearing a mask.
Right.
Someone got arrested for wearing a mask.
For wearing a mask in the middle of winter in January.
Yeah.
Was arrested.
So that's what that was about. But I don't think, I mean, a lot of people are on the anti-police Reddit. As you know, I was almost a cop myself. So kind of coming from like the whole law enforcement background, it's not really, death to all cops or, all law enforcement is bad. It's when they're enforcing, wholly unconstitutional laws and start infringing on people's rights, oath breakers, let's say.
Absolutely.
That's what I think people have an issue with. Now with all the stuff kind of going on, a lot of the good cops have left departments, have quit, have been fired, things like that, because they just can't, take it anymore.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunate. So I was still trying to make that distinction back then.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, the left doesn't realize that they turned a lot of guys that weren't so much right-leaning to become right-leaning in the past 6 months. I know I've definitely gone from the middle to the right a lot more than where I was at over the past 6 months with some of the things that have gone on.
So it's not like we're anti,
violence up here, correct? 20,000 people is a low estimate of what was there, and there weren't any acts of violence at that time.
There was not even a negligent discharge. And do you know the statistical anomaly that you can have that many people carrying weapons, and they're like statistically.
It's almost, I mean, come on.
It's almost inevitable.
NFAC did that in Louisville where they had negligent discharge.
Yeah, they didn't have that many people there.
Yeah, so it was kind of incredible that nobody got hurt. Twice. So it is kind of incredible that, because I saw some people with some sketchy setups. Yeah, like shotguns kind of like tied to backpacks and things like that going, ooh,
not everyone utilized their best shot. Everyone did great, but But that makes it even more surprising that nothing bad
it didn't happen. So
at least everyone put enough thought into it for it not.
And
to
I think
happen.
even like the one or two counter protesters we had a good time with,
Yeah.
like it was we had a good time.
Yeah.
So I was like, sure, go out and protest. I mean, that's what we're doing. Do your thing.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we opened up a can of worms for protest.
Boy, did we.
Let's see what happened after the Virginia rally.
That was the virus. That was all the lockdowns after that.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure I caught that shit on the plane back.
No. I think just before that, it was all the Duncan Lemp stuff, I believe.
Duncan Lemp was right after the rally. That was an unfortunate thing that happened there. Obviously, we all respected that kid with the utmost respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like that poisoned a lot of people that typically were pro-cop or at least cop supporting. Like seeing that where there's no reason this kid should have been raided, let alone gunned down in his fucking bed. That definitely pushed a fair amount of people into, some people that would not have normally participated in these riots and protests that happened afterwards. It pushed them into like, okay, this seems like a justifiable. Everyone else seems to be able to let out their anger about
right. Well, then we had all the lockdowns. I think we had Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor happened in March too.
Yeah, that was right then. So that kind
right around the same time.
Yeah.
And it was all the lockdowns and shit like that. We went to several different open up rallies in a few different states.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Was the Stephen Carrillo event, was that before or after the rally? That was
during the protest.
Yeah, that was during the protest. Okay.
Yeah, it was when everything first kicked off, but it was back then because
Which that guy freaking.
He did that shit around LA, or at least somewhere in California.
Yeah, that dude was an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
he fucked he fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big time. And then the lockdown started. The first round of lockdowns.
Right.
The 15 days to beat the curve.
I mean, shoot, I remember all that stuff back when I was on an ambulance back in New York. That was terrifying for me. You should have seen me. I had the hazmat suit and all that stuff. For going outside. And then ended up being nothing. So,
I mean, I'm sitting here with COVID right now. I have it. And
look at that. It's not even affecting you at all. The virus is so dangerous and deadly, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, I'm on like my sixth day with it. have had a little bit of congestion and a headache, and that's about it. Lost my taste for a day or two, and here I am doing a podcast with you guys. I'm a real trooper, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that just means cheap whiskey still gets you drunk, and you don't have to taste it.
Exactly. Believe me, this White Lightning I'm drinking tonight, I can definitely taste it. It would anything. It'll make
germs. I'm not a scientist or anything, but I'm pretty sure alcohol does kill germs.
As a medical professional, I could back that up. Yes.
So yeah, lockdown started, and then we started having these anti-lockdown, not riots, protests.
Yeah, there were protests.
Fiery, but mostly peaceful.
I remember going to quite a few of them. I think there was one we were in a city, and we had waved hello to the SWAT team sniper that had set up on a rooftop. You know, we hit him with the laser rangefinder, and we waved to him, and he waved back. So that was a good time.
Yeah, that was an open up rally.
Yeah, it was an open up rally.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember people in New York City at a certain park getting arrested just for maintaining distancing with masks and all that stuff, just saying, "Hey, open up," and the cops going in full force.
Hey, by the way, Queef Burglar for the comment about the rifles. I like your name too.
Well, he's a friend of ours, so actually we've seen him before. Hey, Queef, how are you doing, baby?
So speaking on his name, I've got something to use up a little bit of time here for just a second. I got a story to tell about my brother-in-law's sister. She's a blonde, man, like the blondest blonde you'll ever meet, and she worked at a restaurant, and there was a girl that didn't feel good, and she was telling the story. She said she was walking around all day long, sick in her stomach, just looked awful, pale in the face. She said, so finally I went to the manager, and I just told the manager that was the shift manager, I said, you need to let Lori go home. She looks like she's had to queef all day long. and she said, everybody busted out, and she's like, I thought it was a mixture between queasy and barf is what queef meant. And I was like, well, you were way
no.
When they told me what it was, I was almost embarrassed to even go back to work. And I was like, yes. That's
it looks like she's had the queef all day. Oh, fuck. That's a good one.
Oh, God.
So I think the first lockdown protest that stands out is the one in Texas where Mill Team 6 came in with the MRAP to haul those.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we had a couple of gym protests.
Yeah, there was one in New Jersey that was prominent.
Yeah.
I think actually for that one, they had to get outside cops in to go arrest those people because the local cops wouldn't do it.
Was that Atlas Gym, or is that just Atlas Gym that's doing it now? Or was that the same gym that's been going the whole time?
I think it's the same one. Actually, I think some Republican congressman, some kind of politician stepped in and worked with the gym. So it's a political protest or some kind of political rally every day now. So you could work out, donate, and it's political. So it can be open.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty sweet loophole they did.
Oh, yeah. And then me and some of the boys had an interview with Joe Jorgensen in the middle of all this.
Yes, our boy Squid was on that. Yeah,
Squid was on there. That was an interesting podcast.
It's always interesting with Squid.
I was on that Joe Jorgensen train for about a week, and And then I got asked to be on the podcast, and I got to ask my question and listen to her stumble over her words for a little bit on the Antifa question with Spike. And then obviously, I think one of y'all, maybe both of y'all, saw me jump in the chat last night with Spike, and was a little salty in that chat last night too. But yes, I was on the Libertarian train there for about a week. How long were you guys on it, or were you on it at all?
I mean, still on, I guess, the Libertarian train, but maybe not on the Jorgensen train. I mean, I liked her at the beginning, but
I've never been a big L Libertarian, but I was on the train right up until Kanye got on all 50 states. Like, we already had Donald Trump. Come on, if we want to have, if we want to get better, if we want to have the next best season for these aliens, we need Kanye as our fucking president. And I don't know why anyone disagreed with me.
With Donald Trump, we have become so close to getting to a replay of what was that movie, Idiocracy?
Oh yeah.
Like,
My
let's go
favorite
for it.
president, Herbert Mountain Dew Camacho.
We'd be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeezy 2020. They robbed my boy.
Yeah.
That's where all the missing votes went.
It went straight to Kanye. They're like, we can't.
No, they stole votes from Kanye. Kanye is the true winner. I have declared him the incumbent president.
Yeah, that's what Congress is going to do. They're going to come out tomorrow and go, it's not Biden, it's not Trump, it's Kanye.
It's Kanye. Yeah, Mike Pence is going to come out, and then it's going to be like WWE, and Kanye and Donald Trump are going to have to fight for it.
It was crazy when damn Kane started running for mayor here in Knox County. Kane's our mayor.
Like if you ever have the opportunity to vote a professional wrestler in for like a minor political job that doesn't really affect you that much, do it.
What's the worst that could happen?
It'll be entertaining at least.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord.
We had all the BLM protests, the George Floyd stuff. I think that was after all that.
Let's see.
Or during.
Is George Floyd what started the most recent ones off? It is, isn't it?
Yeah. That's been going on for almost 180 days now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there we had murder hornets. Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lasted for about as long as my libertarian following did. I think it was about at the same time too. I was so big on following Jo Jorgensen that I didn't even follow the murder hornets, so I forgot all about that. I interviewed her like we were talking about on the podcast, and then I've talked to her in person at some of her speeches twice in person also. And one of the things I asked her was, hey, Joe, I know you probably remember me from the podcast. Sorry to hit you with some of the hard questions, but we noticed on all your platforms that nobody ever asked you the hard questions, and you always get the same questions. I gave her an invite to come back on, and I said, so since we've last spoken, I've been banned off of Facebook. What do you think we can do with that? And she had spoken to like 10 other people before me and given them like a 5-minute response. When I said who I was and what group I was with and told her that, man, she's like, well, I'm just going to give you one sentence. Just stop getting on these sites. And that's all she said. And I was like, wow. Okay.
Really? All right. She's not even at bat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, because I'm pretty sure all of us have been kicked off of Facebook and most other big platforms now. So,
yeah.
Well, my life's been better since I got
it. But before the protest started, I think TBL got shut down. Did Patriot Wave get shut down too before the protest?
Well, I think we were up to like version 5 or 6 on Facebook.
And they just kept making new ones.
Yeah.
And TBL was up to like 78,000 followers, and then overnight gone. Yeah. Yeah, there went that $1 million a year business. No, I'm just kidding.
They banned a couple pages, and then
we kind of knew we had an inkling because we'd always been like, movement adjacent to what everyone else was doing. So we made backups beforehand. Yeah, we had Discord.
We had a lot of groups, but they got our groups too. I really miss the Armory group and the Combat Medic group and
it was a great place to transfer information. Just like good information to have.
Practical skills.
How to apply a tourniquet. There's like some. If you're out using a chainsaw, you should probably know how to apply a tourniquet. That might fucking come in handy.
Yeah. Yep. And then, like you said, the George Floyd protest.
Facebook is pro chainsaw amputation, and I stand by it. Mark Zuckerberg knows what he's doing.
Yeah, yep. They definitely are a fan of major blood loss. So
yeah. But yeah, speaking on the George Floyd protest beginning, it marks almost 6 months now, 7 months, and the cop that choked his ass out just got acquitted or found not guilty. I don't know that I agree with that.
I mean, like it's like one of those things. Like, what did they charge him with? Because you can't charge. What did he get convicted actually for? Because I know that they couldn't.
They were trying to get murdered too.
Which
is like premeditated for the most part.
Yeah, about to say I don't know if you can get premeditated. I don't know. Did he get off? I haven't been following.
I haven't been following either with that one. I've been slacking on it.
Yeah.
I think
I figured at this point, no matter what the news is, people are just going to burn everything down anyway. So might as well not. Yeah, it don't matter.
So the burn started where? At a Wendy's?
No, that was an AutoZone. It was when someone got tased and shot. It was a second event.
Atlanta was the Wendy's. No, I got this. Atlanta was the Wendy's. The George Floyd thing was apparently he tried to pass off a counterfeit $20 bill, and then he got laid down and got the knee on.
There was a picture of him on the neck, and the coroner said he had a whole bunch of fentanyl in his system.
Yeah.
And then they busted the window at the AutoZone, set it on fire, and from that point, AutoZone.
Yeah, the whole city was just on fire. That was wild.
Regardless, kneeling on someone's knee, that's not the proper way to do it.
Yeah, having gone through police technique. Yeah, no.
You don't fucking teach people some goddamn jiu-jitsu.
Like even with
some basic hold. Like you don't have to do that to someone. That's fucked up.
No.
Like, do I support a bunch of the shit that came out of it? No, but it's also fucked up on the training part there.
Yeah. They shouldn't be defunding the police. They should be taking the money from all the shiny toys they have and putting it into
actual
training. Officers. Yeah.
Pay their
de-escalation techniques, defensive tactics, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, things like that.
I mean, that's a whole lot of the outreach that I'm trying to do with Little River Range and Training is we're going to do a lot of training for law enforcement.
Good. They need to know how to shoot. I can't tell you how many times I've outshot SWAT cops.
And when and why to pull the trigger, and not just, hey, I got a gun. That's the first thing I do if I get into a confrontation.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have a whole tool belt there. Use it. The first one should be de-escalation. They have a use of force continuum that they're supposed to employ. Obviously, if they're taking rounds, then you want to start shooting at that threat. But if there's no clear and present threat to life or limb, then you don't need to go for the gun.
Yeah.
Right.
With all the fuck ups, then there was a shooting in Philadelphia, and everyone immediately started burning shit and looting. And then it turns out, if you watch the video, the guy was literally charging out the door down the stairs with a big ass butcher knife in his hand.
Oh, and the cops tell him, "Hey, don't do it, don't do it." The cops were retreating for a while, and then finally has to drop him.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn.
As soon as the cops released that body cam footage, it started going around, and all of a sudden, the big crowds of people started dissipating. There was still the random
that's right. And you still have all the autonomous zones and stuff like that in Seattle and Portland.
Shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Chaz and the Chop and the rest.
I think they're still doing something.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there's another one that's popped up.
Yeah. And
Rico, can we watch that live? Is there a pay-per-view that when we watch him do it?
I think go back to the podcast where we brought up Ferguson and we brought up Black Lives Matter and how they had kind of a standing in Ferguson and a reason to be there and what they were doing. And I kind of felt that way for, I don't know, the first week that Minneapolis was on fire.
Yeah.
I was finally they're standing up for this. I back them 100%. And then
that was when they were trying to burn down courthouses and shit like that and police stations. I'm like, you're focusing your anger right. Woo! Yeah. And then it's we're going to burn down the Target.
Back the movement. And then that's when I just had to back out. I was like, nope, can't support this anymore.
I think that's where most people kind of backed out.
Did you ever think, even a year and a half ago, that you'd be you would say the words, whatever name of city, the first week it was on fire. It's just nothing. Now we're talking about a major U.S. city just being on fire for a week.
Oh yeah, I was like, hell yeah! And then
we're just on fire.
The apocalypse is going to be hot, boys. Make sure you pack. Make sure you pack shorts,
SPF 80. Yeah. Jesus. Man, it has been
a year. Then the statue's coming down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? More power to them. If the people that want those statues to come down can get those statues down, as long as they don't damage them and they're put somewhere that they can be viewed, I could care less. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah. I get that. Also, people destroying them and making them not exist anymore.
Yeah,
that's
Put them in a museum or something,
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, shit, it's not even my heritage, and I still say it should be preserved.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got next. Then the big ban on Facebook.
Everyone got wiped at once, pretty much.
The zuckening, the Thanos fucking snap.
3 months now, I think, that I've not been able to be on. it's been enlightening. I've kind of enjoyed it. I miss it a little bit just because of being able to reach out to a lot of guys that I've lost contact with, but I've been making the steps to find them on other platforms here lately, and I've linked back up with a lot of them, and a lot of them I had their contact info on my phone. So, and I'm sure you guys are the same way with that. I don't think
managed to find the core group. Yeah,
the three of us have never lost contact through all of it.
What was that?
I said the three of us really haven't lost contact through all of it.
Yeah.
No, if anything, we start talking a lot more. If anything,
exactly.
You know?
Hey, you'd be amazed how much extra time you have when you're shitting on the toilet, like when you don't have Facebook.
Well, when you're
now instead of doing dumb stuff online, we do dumb stuff in person, and it's great.
Exactly. Well, the thing with Facebook is I was such a big face and a big name, and so were you guys on there, that your time was spent conversating with fanboys and other people that were wanting to know stuff. And now that we're nobodies online, we have like 8 people that follow us. All our time goes to, hey, wonder what these guys are doing today.
I mean, shit, that's what I pretty much said when that journalist hit me up. I was like, oh, shit, you guys still care about us? Okay, that's cool. Thank you. So that was neat.
Yeah.
I would had a photo of the foot.
Yeah. That's what the collage was.
I forgot all about that happened way before any of this stuff. This was right at the first of 2020. Was the NCRI report, the white page report that came out.
Oh shit! Yeah. They labeled like every page that we had an affiliation with as
And TBL was top on the list, and Patriot Wave was second, I believe.
Yeah, network contagion, that whole thing. Oh, that was a good article. We were like, oh, guys, look at it.
And just the fact that the article, the preface for the whole report started out with, in the pre-dawn of September 11th, 2000, and it was like, wait a second, where are they going with this?
It's hard to link to all those keywords, I was like, damn.
And I'm like, and I'm reading more and more, and then they're like, has become a more dangerous organization. And the way they are using memes online through this viral insurgency is related, if not more dangerous, than taking the black box out of the aircraft on September 11th. And I'm like, what? And I'm like
whoa, you're talking some smoke, man. It's like, bro, all we did was just share some spicy memes. That was it. Like, we told the reporter there, we're just shit posters, man. Yeah. I mean, she got upset at our very fancy frog patch. Hold on, I think I actually have the famous. There it is, the Boogaloo Boys one. I got the famous one. Yeah. Oh. So.
Yep. Don't forget, TBL was the first ones to produce that.
It was.
Yes, exactly.
Oh. Yep. But then Mike Dunn took it over with for us. So, I mean, he's got it under control now.
100%. Keep doing it, bud. We're proud of you, I guess. Keep getting arrested for us. Fight the good fight.
Yeah.
Fuck that asshole.
Yes, I could.
He's a fucking prick.
Yeah.
I mean.
No. If he sees this, I want him to know that I'm not even going to do the sarcasm. Fuck him.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. I'm the guy that's been saying fuck you for a while on social media. Hope you're well.
But yeah, shit.
I think he's the one that brought the leftist into the movement.
Yeah.
With his hand holding at that one rally with the black lady, it was a moving picture. I mean, it really was. It was a good picture, and I enjoyed seeing it. I like that unity thing, but he just took it to the next level and wasn't just reaching out to other groups. He was trying to bring other groups in to a movement that they had no business being in.
Yeah. Having
a bunch of different races. I'm speaking on Antifa.
Exactly. Trying to bring
something like that. I mean Antifa.
I mean, we kind of aligned. We had like similar thoughts at the time, at least with anti-government. But after watching a week or two of their actions in Minneapolis, it's like, no.
Or going to Portland ever?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
it's like, we don't have any kind of similarity.
Well, first of all, you hear of all the shit and how Portland's always a fucking leftist stronghold and everything. Well, they have a statue of Joseph Stalin. Yeah, it's like a point of pride for their fucking city.
I'm pretty sure Stalin murdered millions of people. So
yeah, they don't ever see the irony in it.
No. Let's get you hungry.
Rex Starborn said Ryan Dunn. No, we were talking about Mike Dunn. Look him up.
That's how little we care. Sorry, Ryan Dunn, Mike Dunn. We don't care.
No, Ryan Dunn was cool as shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how little we care about Mike Dunn. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Then I had my rap battle with Pablo Ocolia or whatever, the redheaded Irish guy that was putting all the racist shit out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I had my rap battle with him, and we shared our thigh tattoos of the Hawaiian shirts online together to prove who was Daddy Boog. Because that's what he called himself. He said, "Daddy's here," and I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" I think he claimed that he created the Boogaloo flag at Harvard in 2011.
Yeah. Okay, bro.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a no from me, dog.
Yeah, no, that's not that happened at all.
Let's see. Well, I mean, with everything else in 2020, how about the election? Fuck, like.
Oh, that was a.
I mean, it's still kind of like a thing.
It is,
let me ask this, because we were talking about flags. When did that flag get produced that's behind y'all?
I think that was maybe March or April. I want to say
it was April because it was after rally.
Yeah, it's probably when we started selling all the Patriot Way patches and the like that we got here.
I wish you'd have sold those flags because I would have bought one.
Well, it's the one and only one that we have now, given to us by Squid himself. So it's sitting as a point of pride.
Hell yeah! But yeah, the election. Wow.
Yeah, it was a whole circus. Remember when Bloomberg was a candidate for like a week?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Who was it?
Bloomberg. He was a candidate for like a week and then got booed out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, $1 billion or something like that and then just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's an idiot.
It cost him $1 million to last 2 months in the election.
It was hilarious.
$1 billion, yeah.
Like $1 billion. It was something stupid like that.
Yeah.
It's just gone later.
Yeah, me and Mark actually interviewed with his newspaper. They did an article on us. I don't know if y'all ever got to read that one.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty gay.
That's all.
Ghey. Yeah. Sorry, YouTube. Now this video is getting fucking taken down.
Oh, it wouldn't be the first time they try to silence us.
All right. Hey, I'll make up for it. YouTube. I will start sitting when I pee.
Hey, there we go. A real hero.
Yeah. But yeah, the election, man. Good Lord. They had some real front runners there on the Democratic side for a while. Who they have? Andy Yang and Pocahontas.
I mean, Kamala Harris herself.
Yeah, she was there.
I mean, to be fair, like Kamala Harris probably has, if she has a very good chance of actually being the president when this is all over.
Who was it? Buttigieg?
Buttigieg?
Yeah, Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Real good dude. Always respected him.
Yeah,
sorry.
Was it the one who was trying to take our guns? I forgot which one that one was.
No, that Beto.
Yeah, it was Beto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. God, they're so forgettable now. They were hilarious in small doses, but I just don't care enough to remember their names.
I mean, there for a while, we thought Beto was going to kick the whole thing off. We were like, it's time.
He's like, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm pretty, no, his, hell yes, I'm going to take your
AR-15, your AK-47, all that. Everyone
that was a ring. That was a ringtone. It's like, time to wake up for the morning.
Yep. And now we're back to Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
just waiting for this to be over. It looks like, and also in the Senate, like, it looks like the Democrats are going to take the Senate in Georgia.
Yeah. I don't know. Trump and his daughter are on their way down there right now. You see that picture?
How it goes. Which I guess that leads us into predictions for tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
With the rally going down in D.C. Well, apparently 10 million Trump supporters led by Alex Jones himself.
And
let's start this conversation out with that. In no way are we wanting to incite violence, or do we want that to happen. Everything we're going to say from here on out in the podcast is going to be a big
hypothetical
visual meme.
Yeah.
Hypothetical and discussing predictions for what, like, no one is inciting anyone to.
No one wants it to happen either way. It's just we're going to take our best guess as as professionals, as security professionals.
Professional shit watchers.
Yeah, as shit posters have seen this happen before. So I mean, let's start off with the original thing. I mean, Trump asked all his supporters to come out, all of them, and have a wild protest. I don't think he's actually ever asked for his people to come out and do anything before, really.
Well, besides attend like a rally that he
Well, it's going to locally, but still something for that magnitude.
Actual protests, and absolutely not. And then,
especially with him calling it a wild one, he wants them to kind of kick up a bit.
And prefacing that with his statement during the debate with Proud Boys, stand by, stand ready, or stand back and stand by.
Oh yeah,
so they've been waiting for the moment for him to say, "All right, guys, it's time. Come to DC." And they feel like they've been called by the Messiah that's shown their light upon them to come in. And
I don't get that kind of worship, but everyone needs something, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, because there's people that see Trump as being a divinity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And
a cult of personality is still a cult.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean,
just because it might align with your values,
it doesn't mean you should put that. You can't put it that far on a pedestal. Like, you have to still look at things objectively. Now, saying that, with what we've seen with as far as, and this one would probably also get the video flagged, but election irregularities.
Oh,
you have to use certain words like that. I mean, in Portland, in a bunch of these places, like while the cops were, while people went out there to support the cops carrying Blue Lives, Matter, after the cops attacked them and let Antifa pretty much just run around behind.
Oh yeah, they were stomping on the flags. They were throwing it at police cars, saying, we're not supporting y'all anymore.
Saying fuck the blue.
Guys were throwing tear gas grenades back at the cops. Trump support.
People on the right. You usually see from the left. Now, right has been pushed to do.
They're finally waking up. They're finally getting it after so many years of people saying.
Tipping point when both sides are at the same type of response.
Yeah.
And one's not standing back and saying, "Okay, let's let them do their dumb shit."
Well, I think even one group is supposed to be dressing like Antifa and in all black to kind of, if the cops aren't going to arrest them, then they're not going to arrest us. So we dress like them.
And I don't know how much weight can we put to that, because how many times did we hear that Antifa was going to show up at gun rallies dressed as patriots? A lot of that could be shit.
It could be, but I'm just saying that's a prediction that's out there.
As a patriot, there's absolutely no way I would ever dress like one of them. Just for my own personal beliefs, I couldn't do it. I mean,
not for this, not for that.
Yeah, and they were like, "Okay, you got to dress like this," and I'd be like, "Okay, I'm making $350,000 a year. Hell yeah, I'll dress like that."
But you do have people who want to kind of kick things off and see it as, this is a good way of doing it. The accelerationists who might want to do it,
Yeah.
So,
and the thing is the accelerationists that are going to kick this off may not be these fringe groups like the Boogaloo and BLM, like everybody's been talking. It's going to be either the Patriots or Antifa. It might be your Proud Boys. It might be your QAnons. It might be your Trumpers. And it's not going to be the groups, because the groups that have based their religion, I'm saying that very open-mindedly. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody's religion, but like the Mandalorian, base their religion around an item or a weapon or something like that. Respect that weapon and hold that dear and learn how to use it and what that is meant to be used for. And then you got your guys with hunting rifles that have just gone out and bought an AR-15 now, and they think they have a weapon of war because they follow mainstream media, and they're like, "That's what this is for. I'm going to riot. I'm going to war with the left because Daddy Trump told us to, and I have permission from the president to kill people." Like, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I could see that happening. Either way, whether it's, fists or guns, I think there's going to be a clash in D.C. tomorrow between these two big groups.
Yeah.
I think that's almost unavoidable. Actually, I think it's going to be between the Patriots, the left-wing people, and the police.
I think
it's going to be all three going at each other.
Yeah. it's almost unavoidable that there's at least going to be street brawls.
Yeah,
at the very least. But I'm pretty sure it's going to
least.
go to stabbings, to shootings.
Yeah,
hopefully a bomb doesn't go off. Hopefully they keep all the RVs out of DC.
Yeah. You make sure. Yeah, DCPD needs to sweep that shit. For
no RVs, no box trucks, nothing.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all this, because a lot of people are not going to like me saying this. I voted for Trump. I mean, 100% I voted for Trump. I'm sure most people watching this did. But I'm not a big proponent of Trump. I just voted for him because he was what I felt like was the only choice. Right. But I do feel like he was negligent in some of his comments here lately about having Patriots come to DC and Proud Boys stand by, stand ready. I think that was negligent on his part, because I would know if I was as big as somebody like that. If I had 80,000 followers again, I would know better than to say something like that, because there's enough people listening that somebody's gonna follow through with that. I feel like that was dumb on his part, and I hope that people that even respect the president can look at it and say, yeah, that was kind of cringy. Like, he shouldn't have done that, because that's a dangerous statement to make.
Right, acting like their their commander or something like that. Even acknowledging them, really. Yeah, they got a lot bigger than they should have, really, I guess, or deserved to. You know, just by naming them, they've kind of blown up.
Yeah.
So,
can you imagine if he'd have said Mujahideen, stand by?
I mean, I would have lost my mind. It would be cool, but also, we're gonna get a knock at the door from Agent Dave.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that there's no way that there's not at least large-scale street violence tomorrow.
Yeah, it probably closer to sundown is what I'm gonna bet.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be getting litty titty all day, but yeah, it's gonna get real bad.
I mean, I'm pretty sure bricks have shown up. Bags of bricks and other kind of objects for throwing have shown up.
Yeah.
So
I saw that today too.
Well, and out in one of the big, major protests that that I was at, like when everything kicked off, while you were walking around, you would see people stashing fireworks, bottle rockets and like shit, like rocks and stuff in the bushes. They go and do that shit like a fucking 24 hours beforehand.
Yeah,
like,
so
organized as all fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
if y'all are at liberty to say, what are some of the cities y'all had to go to?
Well, let's see. We had to go to, obviously Richmond, Columbus, Louisville. We've been down in Frankfurt,
Nashville.
Okay. What was the wildest one you've seen yet?
Honestly, Louisville was they go hard in Louisville.
Yeah. When shots were fired and people got shot, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And like when everything first went off, like we were out there working and a pipe bomb just started going off like in the trash cans and shit. Like as soon as the no charges were read out, or the lightened charges were read out.
Yeah, that was for the Breonna Taylor verdict.
And then it was just crazy for days.
Yeah, I mean there was a shooting like 10 minutes later, next to the place I'm working at.
Yeah.
So I had to strap on the big body armor and all that.
Yeah. I got a reply to Rex Starborn here. He said Mama Joe 2020 again. He must not have been listening to the first part of the podcast.
No, he was. He's
an
asshole. Like
we love him, but he is an asshole.
Okay, because I was about to say she was the worst choice out of all three of them, and that's hard for me to say.
So I'm saying Kanye 2024. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I mean it can't be any worse, right?
Kanye. Let's see how lit we can make it.
God, man. Well, that'd be wild. Well, y'all got any other things that you wanted to hit on?
No, that's that kind of brings us to where we are right now.
Glad to see that we've all survived 2020.
Yeah.
Happy and healthy for the most part, despite everything.
Yeah.
I think everyone that we know has
obviously y'all do too.
Yeah, I think everyone we know has generally kind of done better at the close of the year than when we started. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah, I'm much more prepared through 2020. If anything happens in the future, I'm ready for the grid to go down. So yeah, I think we're good on that. One thing I did want to, have you got any pages you need to link in here that you need people to go over to?
No, not really.
No, not yet. Like I said, we've been keeping a clean social media presence, just kind of hanging out with the boys in person, doing all of our dumb stuff there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I say now we do dumb shit drunk on a boat or on a kayak or some shit.
Or in the middle of the woods.
Or in the woods, yeah.
Yeah, Queef Burglar over here talking about Trump taking bump stocks. Yeah, we all know that Trump is definitely the worst proponent for the Second Amendment since Reagan.
For the voting exit. I mean, if it's time to lose them, it's time to use them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's an idiot. That's why I feel like we would be better off with a Biden in office asking for you to give your guns up, because the Republicans would stand up to that. But
Republicans only fight when a Democrat's in office.
Exactly. Or at least then we might get some support on that aspect.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like one of the few people that have stood up, Thomas Massey from representative from Kentucky, and Representative Matt Gaetz out of Florida. They have been, every time the ATF has been talking shit over the past couple of years, there have been the two reps to sign the bill, sign the letters calling the ATF out on it.
Yep.
So there are a couple Republicans that actually do give a shit, but they're typically the more libertarian ones that are just, more conservative.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that.
Rand Paul.
Then you've got some good advocacy groups out there, like Gun Owners of America, National Association for Gun Rights, Rocky Mountain
Firearms Policy.
Yeah. That are actually doing something. The NRA, no, they're not doing anything. Like
no, they're just,
I think everybody in the gun community now has realized that NRA is not our friend. Other than the patriots that are going to be at this rally tomorrow with their hunting rifles that think that God has told them to come there. They'll be wearing their NRA hats. If there's a mass shooting, it will be someone with an NRA hat or some way with an Antifa flag on, is what my opinion is.
I could see it happening. I want to see Remington 700 square up against Mosin Nagant, honestly. It sounds like a fun fight. Tokarevs versus 1911s. I mean, I'm here for it,
It's actually a pretty fairly even matchup. Like,
yeah. Almost stopping power.
They're going to talk about this on some future episode. Greatest Warrior or whatever that is.
Yeah, right. Antifa versus like Boomer Patriot. Oh God. Oh yes.
Well, since I got the most people in here watching live right now that I've had throughout this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and remind everybody to like, share, and subscribe to Bearded Liberty on YouTube. And make sure to share it out with your friends and family. Not all the videos are as rough as this one. We don't cuss in all of them, and we talk about some good topics.
That's my fault.
Me too.
Yeah. No, it's not good. I mean, I struggle with it too. But make sure to share this out and subscribe. I could really use you guys. And there's a video on there that gives instructions. But once I get to 100 followers, I'm going to send some ammo out to somebody who subscribed. So some subscribers in here. And for me, Jim Henry and Bearded Liberty, and for these guys, Kentucky and Yankee, we're going to sign out for tonight. God bless America.
God bless America.